Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Hello and welcome to today's video. Thank you for being here. Today I'm in an area between Cenes de la Vega and Pinos Genil. These are two very small towns, villages really, close to where I live in Granada, in Andalucia, here in the south of Spain, just in case anyone's new today. And I've taken this stretch many times. I've lived in Spain on a number of different occasions over the years, but this time I've been back since April of last year. It's now March, so it's come up to a year. And when I first moved back from Bolivia to Spain, I came here to Cenes, and I fell back in love with Spain, 100%, almost instantly from being here, and I hope you'll see why. Coffee o'clock. Yes. Surprisingly good. A shoe. Yeah, really, a shoe. It's never coming up. The bridge that I usually pass beneath is closed for maintenance, so I was sent on a bit of a detour and resulted in me coming down this pathway here behind this building. I'm looking for a path back to the river. Oh yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm back to tranquility. Ooh, this looks like a great spot to make a sandwich. Integral or whole grain bread. Most important ingredient, Branston pickle. Mayonnaise. Lettuce, just for some crunch. In here we have turkey ham and pork ham. A cross between a cheddar cheese and a like an Edam or more like European, Central European style cheese. Really delicious actually. Branston pickle. Sweet, and spicy, fruity, and with vegetables. Just, it's the one. I absolutely adore this stuff. I only recently found it here. Next has to be the ham. The lettuce in between, so the crunch is in the centre of the sandwich. Next I'm going to slice up some cheese. Big chunks of cheese on there. Next, one piece of pork ham on top. Big, fat ham, cheese, pickle, lettuce sandwich on brown bread. Let's see. On the subject of food, definitely, like as an average, Spanish food is significantly better than British food, in my experience. I think you can say that for almost everything. There's just no comparison between like the standard of fresh, affordable, excellent, high quality, seasonal Spanish food. There's nothing like it in my experience. However, there will always be some exceptions, right? And I generally find that a sandwich here can be really underwhelming and disappointing. It's not that they don't have the ingredients, it's just that there isn't a culture of sandwich eating and the art of sandwich making here. My first ever job, my second ever job, I was a newspaper delivery boy, a paper boy, when I was very young. My first proper kind of paid job was working in a sandwich shop in the centre of Oxford, next to a busy bus coach station. And I would work, so I was at school all week studying, and then Saturday and Sunday I would work in Harvey's, was the name, Harvey's Sandwich Shop. And I learned from that point that there is a skill, there is an art to making a great sandwich. There really is. And when you're making like 100 a day, the small differences, the small techniques, and the ingredients, of course, which is key, really makes a world of difference between an okay average sandwich and a really like exceptional sandwich. Anyway, that's enough about sandwiches. If you love sandwiches as much as I do, you'll get it. It just occurred to me that this is the most English, British, expat style meal, if you can call it that, ever. Ham, cheese and pickle sandwich with Branston, a Snickers and a packet of Walkers. Behind me, somebody living kind of in a makeshift shelter, just plastic sheeting, and there's a car there. The car looks like it hasn't been driven for a long time, but they're relatively new there because I passed here a couple of weeks ago and they weren't there. So yeah, I suddenly felt it happens sometimes. You're just walking along, you're not expecting to come across anyone, and if you do, it's just a fellow walker, dog walker usually, right? But then suddenly you enter someone's space. It's their home, for now at least. And one second, you get this sense of like you're invading someone's privacy. If I don't see you again on this trip, thank you so much for joining me today. This is a wrap on the first part of this adventure. We'll pick this up from tomorrow and continue our journey. Thank you so much for joining. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, anything you can do to support my channel. It will be really, really greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, Stay safe, stay well, stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you. See you soon. Goodbye. Okay, let's go. You show me which way to go.
Todos.
Hello, my love. Where are we?
In the bus.
In the bus. What number?
En el bus 4.
It's in my hand. Let's go!
This is Ambar. I have
Ooh.
curtain.
Heinz baked beans, bacon. Key ingredient for me is cream cheese. This is the bacon dance.
¿Qué vas a cocinar?
Okay, Lydia, yes please. Yes please. Today's brief beer review is Falke Tostada 0.0. Non-alcoholic today because I'm with Lydia. Say hello, Lydia.
Hello.
So yeah, and we're not at home. Just didn't seem right drinking a beer out here today. So I went for a non-alcoholic option. I actually don't mind some non-alcoholic options. I think there's a time and place for them. I've had a couple of times in my life where I've gone through a detox and they're very sugary. That's the only problem, most of them. This is the best of a bad bunch. It's significantly better than anything I tried in the UK. Most of the mainstream standard non-alcoholic beers are so woefully poor, lacking any body, any real flavour apart from sugar and kind of synthetic hops taste. This is pretty decent. It's part of the Heineken group, but it was previously, I believe it's a German company. But yeah, it's 0.0. It's Tostada, which means toasted malt, toasted hops, and if I remember correctly, it's such hops, barley, wheat, water, nothing added, and it makes a difference. Of all of the options here in the main supermarket, apart from really nice bottled options that are significantly more expensive but are definitely worth considering, I'll review some of them in the future, this is the best of the cheap budget standard off-the-shelf options for non-alcoholic beers here in Spain. Thank you for listening.
One, two, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
21!
21!
21 caterpillars! La carretera está aquí. Estamos cerca. Hello friends, and welcome back to part 3 of this particular adventure. Just a very brief recap. Part 1 was me taking a trip from Cenes de la Vega to Pinos Genil on one side of the river, crossing over and coming back. Part 2, I was accompanied by my daughter Lydia, and we travelled from the centre of Cenes de la Vega, part of the way along the river. We didn't make it all that far. Had it just been me, I could have covered the whole journey, I think, in that one video. But over a 3 or 4 hour period, yeah, we really didn't cover a huge amount of distance. But I'm back now at the exact point that we left the track and headed up to the main road, back to the same point to continue the walk into Granada. You'll notice I've had a haircut. So it's actually been a couple of weeks since part 2 of 3. I've been having a bit of a challenging time with various different things, and just haven't really had the headspace to come back and finish this journey. I've been kind of building up to this, delaying, procrastinating, and to be completely honest, I'm not really feeling it today either, but I really wanted to complete this journey so that I can get to editing and start uploading some of these videos. It's been hanging over me that I needed to finish this trip, or I wanted to finish this trip. Just, yeah, timing hasn't been great recently, so yeah, it is what it is, but thankfully we're here, we're back, we're continuing, and thank you for joining me as always for this third part of the journey. Please, please, please do all you can to support my channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, all that great stuff. It's always appreciated. Thank you guys. I'm looking for somewhere to stop and eat actually. I'm really extremely hungry. It's almost 3 p.m. Didn't really have much of a breakfast either, so... Okay folks, it's lunchtime, and today I have the same shawarma from my favourite so far, my favourite ever shawarma place in Spain, in Sidin. I'll put a link to the place because it's really pretty exceptional, and they deserve some props for some pretty excellent food. It's the Especial de la Casa, the house special shawarma wrap. It has some chicken, it has some beef, it has lots of salad, and it's pretty hefty. Like it looks almost like a big like burrito, you know. It's really heavy. This bad boy must weigh like, I don't know, a good few hundred grams. Like in Granada, there's a large Arabic population, and Granada has a very unique history in that it has a Mediterranean and Arabic history that kind of coincided, or coexisted I should say. So it's really unique in that it does have a really excellent offering within Andalucia, this region. Granada is really fantastic, and I'm super hungry, so I'm looking forward to this. So I did ask for picante, spicy, but because it's been in my bag for an hour or so, this way up I suppose, all of the liquid has run to this part. So it's good that I opened this end first at least, because now it has a chance to make its way back down. But all of the spicy sauce is right here on the end, so this could be interesting. Let's see. That's really excellent. Really good. Wow. I just got to a really spicy part of this. There's egg in here as well, which is always freshly cooked, like in the moment. They fry it and wrap it all in together, so all of the beautiful yolk runs into the rest of the kebab shawarma. It's beautifully spicy. That was amazing. 9 out of 10. And that's pretty much the max, because I'm not sure I've ever given 10 out of 10 for anything in my life. Fantastic shawarma kebab. You guys have got to check it out if you're ever in Granada. Thankfully, they also give you a ton of serviettes and a plastic bag. Leave no trace. the long-awaited beer review. Before it's too late and before I head back into the city where it's kind of illegal to be drinking in public, I thought I'd review this. Now, Ambar, I recall drinking this on draft, on tap, de grifo, in the UK, and it being a pretty substandard beer in comparison to how incredibly high the standard is for ales and bitter ales in the UK. So I wasn't too sure about this, and it is fantastic, I have to say. It's the Ambar IPA, so India Pale Ale, and it's the Doble, so it's the double hopped, I think you'd call it. It's heavy, it's strong, it's 7.6%, so it's not one to mess around with. The can is 44 centilitres, which is nice. It's 440ml, as opposed to the standard Spanish cans, which are 330, like a standard can of Coke. It's closer to a full pint. Obviously not quite 568, unfortunately, but it's really fantastic. The flavour is out of this world. It's the best IPA that I've been able to find here. It costs around €1.45 for a can, which is quite expensive here, but it is that much bigger and it's that much stronger, so I think it's more than reasonable. There's a standard single hop version, which is okay, and I think that's what I had in the UK previously, and it's really nothing special. It's one to avoid. For 10 cents more, this is significantly better. It's really quite an excellent beer. If you have 3 or 4 of them, you feel a little bit groggy. It plays games with your stomach as well. But if you just have 1 or 2, it's really super aromatic, it's intense, it's really highly recommended. There are a number of the big breweries here in Spain that try to do an IPA, and most of them are pretty bad, I have to say, including Maul, which I'll review on another day. I had that last night, and it's like night and day. The difference is so extreme. So, Ambar Ale, IPA, double hopped, highly recommended, if you can find it. The sound of nature returns. Bird song. The river bubbling away. It's beautiful. I can breathe again. Hello friends, it's gratitude time. This is the part of the video where I say thank you to someone in my own life and someone in the world of YouTube that's helped me, encouraged me, supported me, motivated me in some way. In my own life, of course, I need to say thank you to Esther. Esther is an excellent mother and a wonderful, wonderful friend. She's a great human being, and I owe her a great deal. Yeah, I'll leave that there. Yes. In the world of YouTube. So in previous videos I've gone for people within the world of the outdoor lifestyle and people that produce content in some sense related to what it is that I'm doing here and what it is that I'm interested in. This time I want to do something a little different because I'd like to extend my gratitude to Andy from Let's Talk FPL. I'm a big fan of Fantasy Premier League. I've been playing the game for many years, and a constant for the many years now has been Andy. Andy, what's fantastic about Andy is that not only is the production value of what he does excellent, but he is extremely consistent and hardworking. He's like, it's unbelievable how regularly he is able to produce high quality content. He does live streams on a very regular basis. He pre-records. He does so many different things. He's become extremely successful. I'd have to say he's probably the #1 content creator now for Fantasy Premier League, which is a game that now, when I first started playing, it was a few million people were playing it each year. Now there's over 9 million users, players of the game, and he has become extremely successful. I remember being on live streams and watching Andy, and I could type and just say, "Hey Andy, like, hope you had a great week," or "Hey Andy, like, thank you for the content," and he would say, "Hey, thanks for your message, buddy. Hope it was well. Thank you for your kind words." And now on the streams there are tens of thousands of viewers sitting and waiting long before he even goes live. He has a huge following of Patreon members, paid members, and yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to Andy for introducing discipline into the world of being a content creator. I really admire his dedication, his commitment to regularly and consistently, no matter what, he produces. So Andy, you're a superstar in the world of Fantasy Premier League, and thank you for inspiring me to be a more professional YouTube content creator. Thanks, buddy. Take care. Hello, it's time for today's review. This is the Primus, or Primus, Essential Trail Stove. Swedish company. It's made in Europe. I believe it's made in Eastern Europe. I paid around 22 euros for this, which is extremely reasonable. That's like, what, 25, 26 US, 20, maybe 19 pounds from the UK. And I love it. It's really fantastic. As you'll notice with all of my reviews, pretty much top of the list of attributes that I look for in a product is reliability and durability, and this ticks both of those boxes convincingly. I've used it now 12 or 15 times. I mean, I've used it maybe 30 or 40 times, but on about 12 different trips now, and it's never let me down. The steel that it's made from is lightweight yet extremely robust. I have no concerns whatsoever about anything bending or becoming misshapen, or, you know, I could launch this across the other side of the river there, and I have no doubt at all that it is not going to be damaged in any way whatsoever. It weighs around 115 grams. Its output is 8,600 BTU, which is pretty powerful. In addition to that, the measurements are, it's around 10-11 centimeters across, which is excellent actually. It's a perfect sweet spot. It's not so wide that it's awkward, but it's not so small that there's any concerns about anything falling off of it. I use this with I tend to buy the Primus gas canisters, but it's really, I've realized that's not really necessary, and Decathlon, for example, sells one that's half the price and lasts around 70 to 80% of the burn time, so I think that's what I'll be using moving forward. I love the precision on this, whatever you call this, dial. There's a word for it. It's so unbelievably precise and accurate. Now, sometimes, you know, just 1 millimeter turn on some of these stoves is the difference between it almost like flickering out and blowing out and just burning whatever it is that you're cooking instantly. This is far more precise. I've been really impressed with how how wide like the dial is on this. Each minute turn does make a difference to the strength of the flame, and that's really important. The only mistake I've ever made using this is not putting it low enough. If you're heating anything other than water, you really only need to use the lowest or close to the lowest flame, because it's really super powerful. If you accidentally, it's user error completely, because there's no need to do this, but if you don't focus, you don't concentrate, and you just turn it too high, it will burn anything so quickly. I think it's actually quite attractive as well. I really quite like the shape of it. It feels right in your hand. It has a solid user feel to it, and I really think that if you look after it and you're careful when you use it to be precise and, you know, adjust correctly, accordingly, carefully, you just can't go wrong with this. My only complaint would be that the corners, the points, these 3 points, are really quite angular and not sharp, but they catch on things. So if you just throw it into your bag, I think it could, for example, if you throw it into your bag and it comes into contact with like your thermals, for example, things that you sleep in, anything that's a slightly softer material, I think it could snag and it could definitely pull a stitch out on something. I'm not really, again, that's a user error thing. If anyone knows of a specific item, product that exists to store this when you're using it, that would be great. Okay, so the Primus Essential Trail Stove, highly recommended. Okay, we're reaching the end of our journey over 3 parts. I really enjoyed filming this. It's been, through a difficult time, it's been important to have some time alone, some quiet time, and I really appreciate you being here with me. Hello friends, we're reaching the end of the final stage of the journey along the Río Genil, the Genil River, from Pinos Genil to Cenes de la Vega to the center of Granada. Okay, signing off. Once again, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Really, knowing that I can share my adventures with others, even if it's just friends and family, has really motivated me to get up and get outside, get moving. It can only help, right? If you haven't already, please support the channel in any way that you can, please like, subscribe, share, comment. I'd really appreciate it, and really I want to be able to continue to do things like this, better than this, further afield. Really the ambition for this is to be able to travel to other cities, other regions, maybe even other countries one day, and you guys can make that possible in supporting me in any way you can. So thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. See you soon, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.